Have you ever heard about the time someone may have dropped an atomic bomb into the Salton Sea? Yeah, it's not in the guidebooks, but it might be under the water. I've been out there, and I've got the sand in my boots, the stuck truck stories, and the photos to prove it. I'm Jim Bremner with DesertUSA.com, and over the years, I've explored a lot of forgotten corners of the Southwest. But the abandoned Navy base at the Salton Sea, that place, it lingers with you. The first time we tried to reach the site, the road was half buried under a mountain of wind-blown sand. We made it across a couple of times with four-wheel drive, but one trip didn't go so smoothly. We got stuck trying to leave, wheels spinning, sun dropping, and had to call for help to get pulled out. Since then, the big dunes have shifted again. Nature's eraser is always at work. The main road is passable now, barely, but only if you know how to drive sand. One wrong move and you're just another abandoned thing on that shoreline. But back when this place was alive, it was anything but forgotten. In 1942, the Navy picked the west shore of the Salton Sea for a brand new seaplane base. Naval Auxiliary Air Station, Salton Sea. It started small, just a quiet desert outpost with a long, calm stretch of water, perfect for amphibious aircraft. Hollywood even came calling. Seaplanes from the base appeared in the 1942 film Wake Island. But this wasn't just a scenic spot. As World War II escalated, the Navy expanded it. A full concrete airstrip went in by 44. Soon over 600 personnel were living and training out there, running gunnery exercises, practicing water landings, and flying out over the lake like it was the Pacific itself. Some locals say this base introduced barnacles into the Salton Sea, carried in on the plains or in their bilge water. Now they crunch underfoot along the shore. Just one more strange remnant from the Navy days. But the base's most important mission? That one was kept under wraps. From 1944 to 1945, crews from Wendover Field, Utah, the same ones who would later drop the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, flew B-29s down to the Salton Sea to run practice drops for atomic warfare. They'd aim at a floating white raft on the lake and release what they called pumpkin bombs, inert replicas of the real thing, designed to test everything but the blast. Those training runs helped lock in the techniques that would end the war. Now here's where things get strange. Sometime in the early 1950s, after the war, when the Salton Sea Test Base was under the control of the Atomic Energy Commission and Sandia Corporation, a test aircraft accidentally released a nuclear bomb casing into the Salton Sea. It didn't have the plutonium core, so it couldn't go nuclear, but it was still the real deal, filled with high explosives, guidance gear, and enough classified tech to make it a major incident. I've spoken with folks who remember a sudden uptick in security along the lake. The word was that something important had gone into the water, and recovery teams were quietly sent in to fish it back out. Declassified documents from the era referred to classified recovery operations in the area, no specifics. Some researchers think this was that moment, whether it was a Mark 15 thermonuclear bomb or something earlier. No official report confirms it ever happened, but the whispers are there. And when you stand on that shoreline watching the lake glitter like polished steel, you can't help but wonder what's still resting down there, under the silt. After World War II, the Navy handed the site to the Atomic Energy Commission. The Salton Sea Test Base quickly became a hotbed for high-tech weapons testing. They dropped dummies and missiles and even used captured German optics to film tests, frame by frame. Nike anti-aircraft missiles screamed across the lake. Unmanned drones buzzed over target rafts. NASA even tested parachute systems for early space capsules here, Project Mercury, America's first manned space program. had boots on this beach. And yes, some test munitions used depleted uranium. The environmental legacy? Still being dealt with. There are warning signs now. Toxic remnants. Whole stretches of shoreline are off limits. By the 1970s, the place had become a skeleton. Some Marines used it for desert warfare training. A few SEAL teams passed through. Then in '79, regular operations stopped. In 1987, the last full-time personnel left. Since then, nature has taken the base back, piece by piece. The wind rolls sand over old roads. Waves lap at runways that once saw Navy seaplanes take off. We've walked those runways. You'll see cracked concrete, rusting steel, and weird black plastic-lined ponds left behind by a failed salinity experiment in the early 2000s. There's a ghostliness to it all. A beauty, yes, but a haunted one. So what really happened out here? Did a bomb go missing? Did we recover it? Or is it still out there under layers of sediment? All I can tell you is this. We've been out there. We've seen what's left. And there's something about that place that refuses to be forgotten. If you're planning to visit, make sure you've got the right vehicle, the right experience, and a healthy respect for both history and the harshness of the desert. Subscribe to Desert USA for more stories from the forgotten corners of the Southwest. I'm Jim Bremner. Thanks for joining me on this journey.